So in this next series of videos of what I call What If, I'm going to start building on different types of scenarios, different aspects of self-defense, because I think that one of the things that is difficult for people to understand is that, if it comes down to it, and everybody always goes into this stuff about what if this happens, what if that happens, and the truth is there's a million possible situations you could find yourself in, and I get that. But one of the things that we focus on in Warrior Flow, and that is the development of your body. And I've said this in numerous videos, and I'll keep repeating it because it needs to be said. You can develop all the different techniques, you can even work the different scenarios, and you got to do that stuff, and that stuff is important. But also, the other thing is you got to develop your body, because unless you're going into the fight, like I always say, with your astral body or some nonsense, you got to take your body. And if you think that you're going to be able to fight the way you want to fight, if you haven't trained your body to do it, it just doesn't happen. As the old saying goes, we don't rise to the occasion. We fall back on, our level of training. So, whatever expectations we have, it's just not going to happen. You see this stuff all the time, especially with the cyber muscles online. People saying, well, if I really got to go, man, you don't know, or under adrenaline, I'll do this, I'll do that. Here's the truth. Under adrenaline, you're going to do the same stupid stuff that you've already been doing because you're not trained. So one of the exercises that we use, and this is just to kind of get your mind thinking a certain way, is the anywhere striking exercise. And the reason we use that and teach that is because on a neurological level, if you haven't programmed yourself in the body to do certain things, you're probably not going to do it. One of the reasons why you train is not because a fight isn't chaotic or any of those things. It's the fact that, in a real situation, the one thing that you can control for the most part is your own body. And you got to be able to control your own body. So when we do the anywhere strikes, the other key is we like to focus on literally moving and striking from almost any possible angle or position. And the reason for that is to train our brains and our bodies to understand that the fight may come from everywhere. The fight comes from everywhere and out of nowhere. And if you don't train yourself to deal with that reality, when you do get attacked from some crazy angle for some reason, and you go into your flinch response, which is just your natural, reaction to things, which is what protects you, you're probably not going to respond once you overcome that to do something else. When you're training to deal with whatever, somebody attacking you, however your body's going to respond is how your body's going to respond. So, Grandmaster Karen, one of the things he used to do, and he was big on this, is training himself through the purposeful habits to respond the right way, to panic the right way. As he used to say to me all the time, it's not that I don't panic, you're not going to like the way I panic. So when you're doing the anywhere strike, one of the things I always get people to do is just start off nice and easy, throwing strikes, usually open-handed strikes in different directions, And the idea behind this is, as I'm doing this, and I'm doing this slow so you can see what I'm doing, is I'm training myself to strike into different positions with different types of strikes. And I'm literally making it up as I go along, or as best as I can. I'm trying not to be patterned. I'm trying not to throw jab, jab, uppercut, or whatever the case may be. And the reason is I want to train my brain so that wherever the attack may be coming from, I can move in a way where it's not an alien thing. If I have to throw a shot here, then throw a shot here, 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 and here. I want my body to be accustomed to being able to move like that with some measure of control. Yeah, you're going to be hyped. You're going to be under adrenaline. You're going to be scared. And so the idea is to train your body to do the things you want it to be able to do, because none of us knows what we got to do till we got to do it. And a real street attack, and I saw an excellent video the other day where somebody sent me a video, I'm trying to think of his name, the guy who sent it, because I get a lot of stuff out. Sid Osley is his name. Great video. And it talked about the difference between self-defense and a duel, or a competition. And I like what the guy had to say. And that is, self-defense is, somebody goes attacking you, you got to do whatever you got to do. Whereas a duel, even if, you're talking trash with somebody, all of a sudden, you get over talking about each other's mothers and all that stuff. And then you say, oh yeah, you want some of this? Yeah, come on, let's go. Okay, you kind of agreed to basically a competition or a fight. And that's what he meant. You know, once it goes to that, it's kind of a duel. And I agree with that. You know, self-defense for us in Warrior Flow is an all or nothing proposition. And what we mean by that is we're not getting into stupid stuff. But if we have to go, we have every intention of crushing the bad guy, whoever that bad guy may be. So when you're practicing the anywhere striking, what you're doing is in our view, you're starting that first iteration of getting your brain and getting your body to start learning how to move and strike and do different types of strikes in possibly any position. You can then take it from there, practicing against multiple attackers, practicing with a bag, practicing in between bags, learning how to move in between targets and striking, or even having people swarming on you with shields. The idea is to learn how in this chaos, when you're off balance, when you're losing control of your body, learning how to recover, learning how to strike with power from every possible direction.